me. Okay, so I have another film that is a lost film. It is a Clara Bow film, and when I first found it, I was like, yes! And then it's lost. It's a lost film. So, but it has a very interesting story. Now, we know that with a lot of Clara Bow's movies, they're meant to shock and that sort of thing, because, she was a flapper, and that's what she did, and everything. Well, this one is, with a lot of Louise Brooks films, which I need to do more of hers, too. I think I did one, maybe two, so I need to jump on the gun with that. But here's the thing. The writer of this, the origin of this story, Ernest Booth, somehow he became this criminal, and he was sentenced to life in prison in 1924, and he began writing while serving his term in prison so that he could support his wife. And he wrote these stories like Ladies of the Mob, which is the title of the film that Clara Bow is in, which is the one that I'm going to talk about. And he made another one that had to do with these ladies, these tough ladies, and who were like gangster type ladies. So he was granted parole because he had like a lung infection and everything, and because of his writing success, of all things. But he ended up back behind bars for some reason or another. Now, that's not the only thing. The plot of the story centers around... Okay, I gotta go back to the other one. Basically, with Ladies of the Mob, which was released in 1928, it was apparently an hour and 10 minutes long. A dead criminal's daughter falls in love with a small-time crook and tries to get him to reform before he winds up like her father. And it sounds like a lot of fun, actually. And so it kind of annoys me that it's gone. And when you look at the stills, it looks like fun. And to watch Clara Bow try and get somebody who's a criminal to reform, it just looks like a blast. Now, first of all, when you look here, it says, the film is presumed lost. Please check your attic. Go check. Could be there. You never know. There are people who they go through. It's like, wait a minute, what is this? Now, here's the interesting thing. Clara Bow and Richard Arlen, who is the gangster, the small-time crook, both suffered minor injuries from ricocheting bullets. The special effects back then were not what they are now. So marksmen would really shoot. They really would. They would shoot actual and near the actors and actresses at the time. So they had to be really careful. Obviously not careful enough in this instance. And it says that in a letter to Richard Arlen, Clara Bow recalled her arm being grazed by a ricocheting bullet during the production and said she thought she remembered him getting hit in the leg. So, I wish this movie was around. Oh, I love these gangster movies. I really do. Oh, my heavens. I have seen so many James Cagney movies. It is delightful. I love those Cagney movies. I think one of the best is that one, We're No Angels, where they're released from prison. And people always want to tell me that James Cagney is in that one. It's like, no, he's not in that one. Trust me, I know. But it's a good movie. It's a wonderful movie. If you've never seen it, it's one of those that's like these old timer. Humphrey Bogart's in that one. I do know that, but it's it's hilarious. It's like these old time gangsters are finally leaving prison, and or something to that effect. Now I want to watch it again. It's just hilarious. But it does say that a surviving script of the film has some scenes of an electric chair, but all are X'd out, suggesting that they were not used. And I would think that that would be, for 1920. Now, 1920s does have their moments where it's like, they put that in there. I would think that, yeah, electric chair would be way too. No, that's not. And, but, uh, yeah, looking at the stills for this movie, and because you have to think, this is during the time when it's the Roaring 20s, it's 1928, 27 or 28, which one is it? 28. But it's 1928, Roaring 20s, gangsters are still going, and, Al Capone and his gang. I mean, this is the year before the St. Valentine's Day massacre and everything. So, yeah, you gotta think that something like this. I'm really sad that it's not around. But now, before I close up, because there's really not much more to say about it. But where did I see that? There was a remake of it. Where did it go? Yeah, right here. There was a remake in 1931 called City Streets, and it's got Gary Cooper in it. Sylvia Sidney's in it. Oh, who else is in it? Anybody else I know? Not really. But anyway, so there is a remake of this film, so I guess it's not a total loss. But so I'll probably be watching that. I haven't seen a lot of Gary Cooper movies. All I know are the ones that he kind of shows up in these silent films. It's like all of a sudden, oh, he was in there. Okay. And I've heard him. There's a couple of radio recordings, and he shows up, and oh, okay, that's Gary Cooper. I probably should watch more Gary Cooper. I think I've seen a few westerns that he's done. But anyway, I will put everything, of course, in the description for you so you can read up on it and see that. And yeah, I just thought it was funny that here's a gangster story written by someone who is in prison. Very interesting. And but it was the time period, I guess, because 1928, and then 1931 it got a remake. And so anyway, yeah, I'm very devastated that it's gone, but not too far gone because we've got the remake with Gary Cooper. But anyway, that's Ladies of the Mob.